Welcome to the Reset for Success show. My name is Marian LaSalle, and today with me is Lady Lou and Estell Porter. And we're excited to be here to bring you a special show called You and the Mirror.
Hi.
Thank
Hi.
you. Hi, everyone. Hi,
Hi,
Estelle.
everyone. Hi, Lou.
Oh,
Hi,
this
Marian. So
this
good
is
to
going
see
to
you
be.
today.
Thank you for being here. We're so excited. We've been talking about this all week. Oh, Estelle's going to be on. But we want to let you know that we are live right now here on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. We have 3 live programs now, and we would love for you to join us and make comments and ask questions live. And we are also on the most popular podcast channels or stations or platforms, whatever you call them. And Marian puts the audio of each of our shows on the podcast platforms so that you can go over there and listen and take us with you. You can go walking with us. You can go do exercises, whatever you want. And we're there with you, and you can learn and have fun because we love doing these shows and helping people and having fun ourselves. And that's one of the wonderful things about Estelle. She knows how to help women, girls, and even men. This is something that everyone can use to help themselves release some of the baggage, the history, she calls it, that we all carry around. You know, we all do. And she helps us release it with talking to a mirror. So tell us, Estelle, how did you get into this?
Well, I have for many, many years studied sociology, psychology, because I myself grew up and had some issues. And one of the things that I was always trying to do was, quote, quote, fix me. And so, not probably, actually, in 2005, I came across some processes with emotional freedom. And that was where I had one of my first big breakthroughs. And I actually worked on that. And then recently, I have come across, and I have many, many modalities to help. And I have helped lots of different people in all different kinds of areas, from ED all the way to being shy and not wanting to speak up in a classroom with students. So mirror work came into existence when I was listening, actually searching YouTube. Came across people because I was always looking at coaches, because every coach needs a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so looking for a coach for myself, somebody to be able to speak into my life, although I have historically had coaches, still looking for new things now. And I came across Lisa Nichols. I
Ah,
came across Lisa Nichols. She was talking about mirror work. And then I began to research her, found her book, bought it, began to read, and found the importance of being
oh,
able to tell me.
hold it up again,
And
if you would.
okay,
Yeah, that was a
this
little quick.
particular
I
book,
couldn't really see it. I'm
this is
like, whoa.
this is Lisa Nichols, and this is her book Abundance Now. And I don't have anything to do with Lisa Nichols. I'm just saying this book has impacted my life, and I wanted to share with other people because it might be able to impact theirs.
There
And
you
so she
go.
talked about her story. And in her story, she talked about a mirror. She had a mirror, she put it up, and she wrote several different things on it every day to help herself get over the issues that she was going through. Because when we grow up, we may have issues that our parents did the best that they knew how to do,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have some holes and we still have some damage and some hurt. And with that, we can reparent ourselves. When we look in the mirror and talk to ourselves, we are reparenting ourselves in the way that we need to be parented, that we didn't get when we were growing up.
Hmm.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Hmm.
Okay, Marion, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that's a fantastic idea because when you look in the mirror, it's kind of awkward, like, okay, now what am I supposed to say? And I mean, this is a great way to look at it. Like, okay, now I'm telling you from a different perspective how you need to think about this now, Marian. You need to look in the mirror and, talk to yourself like you're a parent. I love it. That's That is fantastic.
Yeah. Now, in the mirror work, really, there are three different areas that Lisa talks about. I have expanded it for me, but I'll talk about the three that she mentions. The first one is that I am proud of you for. You look in yourself and you say your name. You say, Estelle, I'm proud of you for being open to new things.
Yeah.
There's 7 different ones every day. And the second part of that is number 2, in looking in the mirror, you say, Estelle, I forgive you for something that maybe nobody knows, and maybe you know, but it has been stuck in you and you have carried this guilt around for years. So I forgive you for whatever this is. And everybody has something that they are feeling guilty about. Because one of the things that our society does is impose guilt upon us for things. You made a mistake. And you have 7 in that area too. And the third one is that I commit to you for. I commit to you, Estelle, to be in your corner. And so
Ah,
you have 7 different things that you commit to. In my case, I commit to finish the work. So I've started this and I'm going to bring it to completion. So when you do that, and you do it in the morning and you can't do it at night, you can do it both times. So you can sandwiches if you want to. What happens over time is those things that you are proud of you for, that list also changes because you get enough of that. You say, okay, I'm proud of you for being open to change. And then you add something else in that place. And the ones where you say, I forgive you for doing whatever, those change too. Now, some of the people that I've worked with this, especially in the middle one, what I forgive you for, they haven't even been able to say them out loud. And
mhm.
honestly, when I started, there was something that I couldn't say out loud. So I said it with my mouth moving, but not my ear hearing. And over time, I was able to say it out loud. And by the time you can say it out loud, you literally forgive yourself for it, and it changes. And the ones where
Oh,
you commit, it's a process that is evolutionary and life changing.
mhm. I can believe that. This last couple of weeks, I don't know if it's just because it's coming to the end of the year, but I've had these weird little flashes in my head of different things that I've experienced that were silly or crazy or odd or bad, not real bad, but bad. Well, why did I do that? And it's like it washes over me. And I just,
Yeah.
why did that memory come up? Have you ever experienced that?
Well, what I do believe happens is that the longer we live, and I couch it like that because, many other people use other words, but I say the longer we live, the more time we have, and the more we have opportunity to remember.
I
And
see.
and especially for parents, once their kids leave home, things that they never would have thought about before show up. And things that happened to them when they were children show up. I recall my mom telling me that, and I thought, that's odd. Why are you thinking about when you were 9 or 10, or what somebody did to you when you were 9 or 10? But now that I am at a more mature age, I certainly understand. And there are things that have come up in me that I thought, OMG, that's what my mom was talking about.
We do become our mom, don't we, sometimes?
Uh,
If you've got a microphone and you're kind of blowing into it, can you move it out just a little bit? Thank you. But
okay.
yeah, I often said I don't want to be my mother, and she was a great mother. I don't mean that, but I have been my mother so many times.
Well, I think that shows us that we learn not by what we do, but by observation. And we
Mhm.
observed, and those things became memories in us because memories are not in our mind only, they're in every cell of our body. And that was the thing that really changed me
Mhm.
because I would say somebody, you remember getting a whipping when you were growing up? And if you thought about it right now, you could feel it.
I
Yeah.
see mine, instead of feeling it, I see it like a movie.
Okay.
So there's several memories that I have that stand out, and literally I see it just like it was playing on the screen right now. And some of it is, pleasant, and most of it is not. The things that, like one of the things that plagues me is when I was small, and I had to have been under 7 because we moved from this house when I was 7. So I know I was below 7. How old, I'm not sure. I remember myself as a little kid, though. So in my movie, I see myself running up to my dad, and he's sitting on the edge of the picnic table in the backyard. And I'm all excited because the neighbors want to take us, 4 or 5 of us, to the ice cream store. And it happened to be Dairy Queen back then. And I was all excited. Can I go? Can I go? And I get the mean dad that says, in a very deep, loud voice, "You need an ice cream like you need another hole in your head." And that plays like a video so often, I can't even tell you. And now I have an obsession with ice cream. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this mirror trick, or what do you call it? A mirror procedure,
Process, yeah.
a process to help me soften that, and to get, and maybe change it into something else. Forgive him, forgive myself for carrying it around for so long, whatever it is I need to do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we all have those things that I call them C's, SEES, significant emotional events. And they stick with us no matter what. But they can be rewritten. And that's the thing that's fantastic. We don't have to keep on living it over and over again. We can literally change it. And that's great. So I can hear that, the intensity when you said that, it's still there, of how that felt inside of you. And it didn't just go into your mind. It literally stopped you at that point. And in that area, you are at that point. And every time you have ice cream, you say, "There, Daddy." I got it.
Take that.
I got my own ice cream now.
I can eat gallons if I want to.
And you can't stop me. Except what happens is, yes, we can. And we can never punish our parents because they're gone now. At least mine are.
Mine too.
And so when we do things to, in essence, punish them because they didn't allow us to do something, the only person that gets punished is us. And that's what mirror work is doing for me. And I get up in the morning and I get in the mirror, and I say, "I am so happy to see you, Estell. You look wonderful, fantastic. I love you." And then I go through my process. I've been looking forward to seeing you.
You know what? Every woman, I'm just saying women now, and men too, of course, when you say that to yourself in the mirror, your whole being, yours just now, lit up. And you can do that for yourself, because everyone is beautiful in some way, some shape, some form, and they don't always know it. But if you keep telling yourself to the mirror, "I am beautiful, I am happy, I am healthy," whatever the words are that you want, you will have them. They will come back to you. Is that right?
Wait a minute. Before you answer that, Estell. So what Estell said was, I get up in the morning, I go in the mirror, and I say, "I am so happy to see you this morning," right? Well, that's exactly how I feel. And people are like, "Wow, Marian, you wake up like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." But I don't have anybody to talk to about that, because they're all looking at me like, "Really? I haven't even had coffee yet. It's too early." Okay. And so if I can say it to myself, then, that might help me, because I do. I wake up and I feel so fantastic. I jump out of bed. But nobody wants to hear it.
Well, when you look into your own eyes, and you tell your own self that, it goes down really deep. And if you make your gaze about 20 degrees upward, you come in like a meditative state.
Uh-huh.
and it'll actually go in quicker, faster.
Like
Perfect.
that.
20 degrees. Yeah,
20
just look
degrees.
up a
Write
little
this
bit.
down, folks. I'm writing it down too. I get to watch this thing again.
You know, you're the perfect example of why we started the Reset for Success show, because we all need to reset. We all need reminders that life can get better, that there's hope, that there's a way for us to get better, to feel better, to create a better life for ourselves. And sometimes we need our friends to do that. Sometimes we need a program, or sometimes we need a coach to help us through that. And we started this show daily. Lady Lou and I did. We decided we were going to do this every day.
And
Well,
we
you
did.
know, that only lasted so long, and then we were like, okay, how about 4 times a week? And you know,
Well,
uh,
Marian got busy.
yeah. And so I think this is a good idea. So how do you suggest people move forward if they wanted to do some mirror work?
Well, my email is scrolling across the screen, and
Uh-huh.
anyone who sends me an email address, I will send them the worksheet. It will have the instructions on how to do it, and they can start there. That's the basic one. That's the one that they would find in Lisa Nichols' book, or find on YouTube if you wanted to look at her.
Mhm.
And as I said, I have modified it and grown it some.
Uh-huh.
There have been some things that have changed for me as a result of doing it. And so I have added some additional categories that soup it up, if you will. It's got Estelle's flavor on it now.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Estelle's flavor.
I
It's,
love you.
yeah, yeah.
But you know
Well,
something, it would help all of us to do it daily just because we are human and we need a pep talk once in a while.
we do need a pep talk. And daily is my recommended dosage. At
And
twice daily, if you can.
first thing in the morning and last thing at night, because then you can sleep on it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, our
that's true.
subconscious mind is so powerful. And most of us, in fact, I didn't know I had a subconscious mind until I was in my mid 40s. I'd never heard the words subconscious mind. I just was in the left brain world all my life. And all of a sudden, I found out I have a subconscious mind. What's that? Well, it's like the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is up here, the rest of us down below the water. That's your subconscious mind. It runs your life,
Yeah,
whether you think it does or not. It does.
yeah. Uh, Many years ago, I wrote a phrase that says, "We are who we are when no one is looking." So when everybody is looking, we have on this face that we put on. But when they're not looking, when we're under pressure,
Oh,
when we are angry or upset, who we are shows up. And so we can change all of that, because we can look at ourselves and say, I don't really like that about myself. So what can I do about it? And I can get in the mirror and say, I forgive myself for having that attitude, or I forgive myself for responding that way too, or I forgive myself. And when you say it long enough, as you were talking about the subconscious mind, it actually goes down deep, and you literally feel the release. And one day you will not even remember that you acted the other way, because you
really?
actually change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
new
that's
you.
also true when there's a new you. That's also true when you utilize the emotional freedom technique.
The tapping.
You it just goes away, and you don't remember it. And so one of the things, talk about emotional freedom because we're talking about the mirror, but all of these modalities work hand in are in tandem,
Yeah.
because you can use them to build on each other.
Oh, that is beautiful, Estelle. Oh my gosh. And if you're out there watching, watch this thing again and make notes if you didn't the first time. I watch all of our shows at least twice. A couple of them I've watched 3 or 4 times because I loved them so much. But every time you'll get something new out of it. It's the most unique thing I've ever noticed. And reading a book, you'll read it the second time. You say, I don't remember that. And you skimmed right over it. You weren't ready for it or whatever. So doing this every morning would be a refresher. Is that how that works?
I'm really glad that you brought that up, Lady Lou, because I belong to a group through Unity where we meet every Sunday, and they have teachers. And one of the thoughts that they were teaching this last Sunday was the fact that you can read the same thing and have different ahas from it. So if you read the same sentence or same phrase or quote or whatever it is at different times of the day or different times of the week, you definitely are a different person when you're reading it, and it can impact you in different ways. That's why people read the Bible over and over and over again. I've never actually read it, but you know what I mean. I've heard people do. They read it all their lives because each little section is going to teach you something differently at different times. It's really gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna
You're
pull.
frozen.
I think she did
Feel
freeze.
this way.
Okay.
You froze, Marian.
I'm so sorry. Am I back?
Okay.
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you thought to yourself, how could I feel so bad and so good all in one day?
It's like saying, how can the sun be out and it rains
And it
on the
happens.
same day? And snow happens. So you can
And
have all of that. And our emotions are fluid. And we know that. And we can actually see that with children who don't stay in one state it long at all. They can be angry with their friends, and 35 seconds they're hugging. And we have forgotten how to do that. The importance of letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes letting go can be the hardest thing in the world to do. You've heard the saying, let go and let God. Oh, yeah, take it over, God. But we hang on to it sometimes.
No, we go and get it back. we give it away. We give it away. And as soon as it's gone, I
Oh,
need that back. Because we tell a story. And one of the other things I want to share about the mirror helps you rewrite your history. That's the most important thing. So when you rewrite it, you become different from the point of having rewritten it. And it goes back. It's I can't explain the technology of it or how it actually happens. But I believe when Marian rewrites her story about her ice cream, from that moment forward, whatever age she was at 7, everything in her life will change. And everything does change. So rewriting history is extremely important. Something you don't like, tell a different story. Because what keeps us on track are the stories that we tell. So and so hurt me back when I was 2. I'm using 2 as an exaggeration, but I got a divorce and he left me. He played around. He did whatever. Or my child did this. Or somebody I love did this. And we tell the story. So the next new person we meet, we tell the story. But there is no history. We only have present. So every time we tell the story, we live the story again. And so we need to tell a different story so we can have a different future. Because if I keep telling you the same thing, I'm going to keep getting the same thing.
Amen. Oh, that is huge. That is really huge.
well, my story hasn't changed much in years. I don't even know how many years. It was so it hasn't changed at all. That video keeps replaying coming up. The Wizard of Oz, every year, every month, okay, that
Okay.
video's playing over and over again
So
in
the next
full
time
color.
why don't you do this? I want you to tell the story, but in the middle of the story, I want you to make your dad's note really, really, really big. I want you to make his hand like just grab his head. Tell the story and do that and see what happens to the story.
Okay.
Okay.
And
And
Lady Lou?
No, we're waiting for you to say the story.
Oh no, I didn't know she wanted me to tell the story now.
Yeah, and
I want
and see his nose grow, right? And then
to see
grab
his
his
nose
head.
grow and then grab his head and his head turn into a donkey or something. Just change it. Watch, see what happens and see what happens to the intensity of the story.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have you back on and I'll tell you how it happens because I know that you have a demonstration for us and we're running low on time.
Ah,
I
yes.
want to make sure that everybody can get your freebie that you have and
Okay.
to do your presentation here.
Oh, well, we'll
We'll have
Okay.
catch
you
up
back.
Well,
with you, Marian, because we've all got those stories. I know I've got a bunch of them, and I'm going to be working on my stories too. So Marian and I will report back. How does that sound?
okay. Yeah. What's that called is a conscious interrupt. And when you have a
Okay.
conscious interrupt, it can never go back. All right. Well, we have actually literally talked about the processes. We talked about that earlier in our conversation. And so if you haven't written these things down, please do write them down. The first, if you will, mirror work that you're going to work is going to be I am proud of you for. You started off with your name. And if your name was your first and middle name, that's what they called you when you were growing up, especially if they were upset with you. Want to utilize both first and second name. So I am proud of you for 7 of those, 7 different ones that you're going to say to yourself. The second one is your name. I forgive you for whatever it is. And remember, these are not going to be stagnant. They are going to change over time. And the third one is your name. I commit to you too. I commit to you to do something. I commit to you. And when you do these 3 things on a consistent basis, things will change in you that you have no idea will change. You will become happier. You will be more fun to be around, especially yourself. And if you get to the point of looking at your mirror and looking at you in your birthday suit and saying, I love you in your birthday suit, because the longer we live, sometimes we don't have that same admiration. It will change even how you look in your birthday suit.
Nice.
This is the E guarantee, or the anybody's guarantee that if you do it and you change your mind, it's going to work. It's going to work for you.
Going to
It's worked for me and worked for people that I'm working with. So
right.
they are
Fantastic.
getting the success.
The results. So if people would like to have your help, it would be like on a Zoom call or the telephone.
I do things over the phone because it doesn't necessarily require looking at us. But if they want to look at me, then we can actually do it over Zoom.
Oh,
We can
so
do
they
that.
just
Or
send you
Skype.
an email and ask
They can send
for
an
an
email.
appointment. Oh, because
Correct.
Estelle's a life coach. She's been doing this how many years now?
Since 2005. So
There you
15
go.
years.
15 years. And she knows a lot about how to help us.
So
Oh,
many people are really good at helping others, but they're not so good with helping themselves. And so
oh,
I encourage you to reach out to Estell to see how she can help you move forward. 2021 is almost here, and I want us all to be able to live the best life possible in this next year coming up. And I want to be able to report back to you how much better my life is because I know Estell.
yes.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us today.
Oh,
Estell, thank you for being here. Lady Lou, as usual, you are just a wonderful co-host, and I look forward to next uh, our really cool new show that's coming up called Opportunity Knocks. I
right.
look for it. It's coming up first of not the first day of January, but in the first first
The
little
fourth
part of
day. The fourth
January.
day. Yeah, that was the surprise I forgot to mention a while ago,
That's
that we
okay.
do have a new show coming up, and we're so
Opportunity
excited.
knocks. And so,
Yay!
Estelle, you'll need to come back and I'll
Yes.
report back at that time how my story changed about my father. Okay? All right,
All
ladies.
right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you everyone for being here.
Bye.
Thank you, Estelle. We have really, really enjoyed having you. So take care, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.